Sorry about that. And then you might also hear my budgie in the background. Don't mind him. But but I guess I should probably explain it again. So first up, well, so um, so first up, I have a whole bunch of um animals that are alive today, and then also a whole bunch of extinct animals, and then I'm going to be simulating um and then I'm going to be simulating what would happen if it were to fight today. And then I have three wheels here. This first one is where the battle is going to be taking place on water or on land. Land is like has more of a chance than water, just because there's more land species than water species, or I guess animals or whatever. And then this one is um and then this one is what each animal will be attempting to use in order to win the battle. Um and then um and then this one, it's blank for now, but um it's gonna have um it's it's gonna have like the animals on here. And then also where the battle is taking place does have an effect on which one will probably win the battle. So, for example, uh, people here, and yes, I'm considering people animals because they're in the kingdom Animalia. So, anyway, so water -10. This is um, so if it's taking place in water, whatever stat they're using goes down by 10, but land +40. Whatever stat they're using goes up by 40. And then this one is on advanced mode because I could just like add it to um because I could just add it to like advanced. Well, no, because I could just add it and and make its um and make its like chances of winning like 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 whatever number they get here. I I can add this to this wheel here and then spin it, and um and whichever one the wheel lands on will win. So anyway, and then I also have this boxing ring thing here. It's not really a ring. I don't know what you call this, but you'll notice all of these colors here. So basically, for example, if the chicken were to win here, I would I would get this color, and then like put it right here. But if my assist were to win, I would get their color and put it right there. And then like if it were to win two of them in a row, I would do it right there. And so yeah, this is how this thing is gonna work. And then I'm just gonna do it. So I'm just gonna do it from left to right at the top and then on the bottom. So yeah, I'm just gonna get straight into it. What? Okay. So yeah, my assist was chicken, which is I basically just said was going to happen. So it looks like it's going to be taking place on water, and then So which Midas is gonna be using? So they're gonna be using their speed. That's 50, and then so that's gonna be 30. So Midas 30, because it's taking place in the water, and water's minus 20. So okay, anyway, and then what's the chicken gonna be using? Um, they're gonna be using their intelligence. Um, that's 70 minus 30, so that's 40. So chicken is 40. So chicken wins. Yeah, I I don't blame you if you click it off right now. You can uh I can yeah, honestly I really don't blame you if you click it off right now. That makes sense. So now crab versus Vegavis II, which is actually a real species. Um I don't know why I just said that. Um but I'm just gonna uh I'm just gonna put some music on. So it's gonna be taking place on land. Um, so what is the crab gonna be using? It's gonna be using the strength, which makes sense. So that's 80. Um, it's 90. So 90. And then what's Vegas gonna be using? They're gonna be using their they're gonna be using their intelligence. Okay? That's 70. So for a total of again 90, so they have equal chances here. What? I I forgot to put their names on there, so that is so Crab was already on there, but Vega Vis I. So roll again. So Crab wins. Okay. Uh, I think I have a pretty good idea of who's probably gonna win here, but we'll see. So where is it gonna be taking place? So land, and then what's the person gonna be using for to fight? Strength. Okay. So their strength is 60. Okay. So human. So that is 100. Okay, and then the Cynodont is uh, is using their Burgley speed. That is speed, and I should probably turn this down a little bit. Okay. So that is 30. So for a total of 50. It's not as one-sided as I thought it was gonna be. But yeah, that's basically what I expected. So, so human wins. So now it's Budgie versus Frog. Okay. So where's it gonna be taking place? It's gonna be taking place on land. So what's the Budgie gonna be using? I don't think they have much of a chance if they're not using intelligence, but we'll see. And just barely speed. So Budgie and Frog. So that is um so they're using their speed, so that is 30 plus 20 is 50. So they're gonna be 50. And and what's the frog gonna be using? Intelligence. Okay. Um that's also a 30, so 30 plus 10 is 40. So it is slightly in the Budgie's favor. And the frog actually wins somehow. Okay. Okay. So next up, I I think I know who's probably gonna win again. Well, actually I'm not sure because salmon is a little bit overpowered if it's in the water, but and Stegosaurus is really only strong. Not it doesn't really have any other good stats, so we'll see. It's gonna be taking place on land, so I think Stegosaurus is likely gonna win. No, we're start with salmon and salmon, Stegosaurus. Okay. So what's the salmon gonna be using? Speed. Okay. Uh, that's a total of 20. No, 20. Then what's the Stegosaurus gonna be using? Also speed. Okay. Um, 10 for a total of 30. So both pretty bad stats here. Somehow, how? Just how? Okay. This one I think could actually be pretty even. So shark versus T-Rex. Um, shark versus T-Rex. Okay, so where's it? So where's it gonna be taking place at? It's gonna be taking place on land. So first up we have the shark. So what are they gonna be using? Their intent. Oh wait. Yep. Just purely intelligence. So that is 70 minus 60. So that's gonna be 10, which makes sense because it's on land. So, okay, and T-Rex. What's that one gonna be using? Speed. Okay. Are they particularly fast? No, that's 20. But land plus 50. So that for a total of 70. Yeah, I think I know who's probably gonna win here. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So T-Rex here. Nomocaris versus, I don't want to say that. Okay. Um. Okay. So Anomalocaris versus that. Okay. So I think this one's actually a pretty even fight. I mean, both of them would inevitably die here, but we're saying who would win, and they have stats. So, but yeah, both of them would inevitably die here. So, what's Anomaly Karis gonna be using? Intelligence. Not a very smart, like, like, pushing battle on land is not a very smart thing. So, anyway, 40. Wait, wait a minute. So, well, that's a 0. I'll make it basically 0. Okay. And then that is gonna be using their strength. So, um, that's a 10 minus 10, so also basically 0. So I'll actually set them to 1 and 1. So that wins. So we have Archosaurus versus Spagina. I this is pretty one-sided. Again. Okay, so it's taking place on land. So I don't think that Spagina has a very good chance of winning. And then also, um, shut, shut. And then also, so Archosaurus was actually a real genus right here, as you can see by the skull, and it is separate Archosaurs. So, just thought you probably know that. Anyway, um, So Archosaurus is using their strength and staying place on land. So that is 70 plus 40. Is that 110? 70 plus 40. Yeah, that's 110. So Archosaurus versus Spigina 110, and then Spigina not looking very good for them, but so they're using strength, which is 10, and that's gonna be 0, so 0.001. I wonder who's gonna win here. Yep, makes sense. Archosaurus wins here. So now we have down here, so lion versus alligator. Lion, alligator. So where is it going to be taking place? On land. Okay. So, okay. So what's the lion going to be using? They're using their intelligence very barely, so 70 plus 30 is a solid 100. Okay. And then the alligator is using their, what are they gonna use? They're using their speed, just barely. So that is 90 plus 20, a total of 110. It's very slightly in the alligator's favor. Alligator wins. Next up, we have wolf versus octopus, and where the battle takes place does, well, could probably have a very big effect on who wins, because wolves can't really survive for very long, like in water, and octopi can't really survive for very long outside of water, and it's taking place on land, so the wolf is using their strength. Okay. So that is a solid 60 plus 40 or a 100. Okay. And the octopus is using their strength also. So that is so that is 70. Wait. Is land seriously plus 0? I mean, I looked it up and it did say that they can survive on land for like an hour. And I think this battle is probably going to be taking place for less than an hour. So the octopus could survive, and it looks like they actually managed to survive here. And then we have that, and I'm not going to be saying it because of that part, which is apparently bad, but I don't know what it is, but apparently it's bad. Um, versus Archaeopteryx. So where is it taking place? Land. Okay. Oh, that's good for both of them. So what's the first one gonna be using? Intelligence. Okay. Well, apparently we don't really know if it was smart or not. So I gave it a 50, which is right in the middle. It's taking place on land, so that is plus 20. So 50 plus 20 is 70. And what's Archaeopteryx gonna be using? There's speed. Well, apparently they weren't really fast. So that is 40 plus 40 for a total of 80. Um, very slightly in the Archaeopteryx's favor. And that one wins. Next up, we have Iwaxia versus Slug. So, Iwaxia versus a Slug. So, where is it taking place? Underwater. Okay. So, and then I think I should probably point this out, but where uh, Iwaxia, and so here's Iwaxia, and here's a slug. So they do look a little bit similar, at least to me anyway. So, what's Iwaxia using? There's speed. Okay. Wait a minute. Yeah. Taking place in the water. So Waxia has a speed of 10 for, for a total of 20. And then what's this slug using? Their speed again. So, um, uh, so that is another 10 for 0 for total 0. I wonder who's gonna win. Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. So you win. Okay. And then ignore the two eyes here. I just thought that there was going to be two eyes. But apparently there's only one in that one. So, and then I can't really. And then let's paint through these so I can't really edit the text. So it says it's two eyes, I guess. Anyway, Yukon Davisai. So, where is it going to be taking place? On land. Okay. So that is Yukon versus Spider. Yukon Davis High versus Spider. Okay. So what's Yukon using? Strength. Okay. Um, though Yukon has a strength of 60, and it's on Lancer plus 40 is 100. And what's the Spider using? They're using their speed. Though I don't think spiders are very fast. They have a speed of 50, which is actually quite a lot, so that's 70. Okay. Could go anyway. But yeah, that makes sense. It's basically Proto Wolf versus like like bug thing. So we have hamster versus Australopithecus afarensis. Or Australopithecus, whatever. Hamster versus how about A afarensis? Okay. So where is it taking place at? It's taking place on land. So what's the hamster using? And I don't see them having like like a very good chance of victory unless they use their intelligence. But it's their strength, and I don't think they're very strong. So that's a 20 plus 10, total of 30. And then A afarensis is using their, and then um intelligence. Yeah. Um but anyway, I thought I should probably point this out, but for strength for for uh for humans and their ancestors, I'm using their strengths without tools. So like basically they're not allowed to use tools in the fight. So Australopithecus has 60 strength and humans also have 60 strength. So it's basically like they're using their fists. So um yeah. So anyway, intelligence. So that is 70 plus 40, 110. I don't think the hamster's gonna win here. Okay. Yep. I'll start pressing this one. And this is actually quite a similar color. So I'll just change it to gray. Um, Dictalic versus horse. Okay. So where is it taking place? It's taking place on land. So what's Tiktaalik using? They were using their strengths, so they weren't really very strong, I don't think. That is 60. Land plus 0, so that's 60. I don't know how the thing is so high, but uh, horse, uh, the horse is using their speed, and horses are obviously very fast. So I think the horse could win here. It says 80 plus 60. Yeah, horse is obviously winning. So 80 plus 60, 140. It isn't as one-sided as I thought it was going to be for the stats that they're using. But the horse wins, yeah. Makes sense. Okay, Dimetrodon versus Axolotl. So where's the battle going to be taking place? Taking place on land. So I don't think the axolotl has a very good chance of winning. So what's Dimetrodon using? Um, they're using their strength. Is 80 plus 50. So 80 plus 50, 130. Okay, and the axolotl is using their intelligence. Okay. So that is 60 minus 10 for a total of 50. Again, not as one-sided as I thought it was going to be. But yeah, that makes sense. So, Dimetrodon wins. So next up we have round 2. So it is chicken versus crab. So, ch- chi- chicken versus crab. Where is it taking place? Taking place on land. Okay. So what's the chicken using? Their intelligence. Okay. And chickens are surprisingly smart. So 70 plus 10 for a total of 80. Okay. What's the crab using? Speed. So that is 10 plus 10 for a total of 20. Chicken has a pretty good chance of winning. And chicken wins. Next up, we have human versus frog. So humans have pretty good stats, and frogs have pretty bad stats. So I think the humans probably gonna win here. It's taking place on land, which gives the human more of an edge to the fight. Frogs also have plus 10, so the human is using they're using their intelligence. Not looking good for the frogs, because the human has perfect 100. So that is 140. Okay, and what's the frog using? Strength. Yeah, the frog's getting absolutely folded here. 30 plus 10 is 40. Yeah, the frog's getting absolutely folded here. Um, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the frog's got absolutely wrecked. Salmon versus wait no, salmon versus T-Rex. Okay, where's it taking place at? But like if it's in the water, the salmon might still have a pretty good chance of winning. So it's taking place on land. So again, I don't think they have a very good chance of winning. So, salmon versus T-Rex. What's the salmon using? Intelligence. Okay. So that is 60 minus 30 for a total of 30. And then, no, not 40. No, 30. And the T-Rex is using um, they're using their strength. So, salmon does not have a very good chance of winning. Rex has a strength of 90 plus 50 for a total of 140. Yeah, T-Rex is probably gonna win here. Yep, T-Rex wins. Makes sense. T-Rex wins. Okay. Anomalocaris, or no, I mean, that versus Archosaurus. I think Archosaurus is probably gonna win here. But where is it taking place? Ooh, it's actually taking place, underwater. So, okay, so that versus Archosaurus. So, that is using their I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's all tens, I think. There's no strength, so it's all tens. Plus tens, that's a total of 20. And then what's Archosaurus using? Their intelligence. Okay, so Archosaurus has an intelligence of 50 minus 50. So that's a 0. very unexpected win here for that. Very, very unexpected. But yeah, if I had to like place my bets on who's probably gonna win, I'd probably have to go with either the human or the T-Rex, because the human has very good stats overall, and the T-Rex is very strong. Okay, anyway, so it's alligator versus octopus. So, alligator versus octopus. Okay. So, where is it taking place? And I think both of them have positive stats for both of them, like for both locations. So, water. So, alligator is using their strength. So that is 90 plus 30 for isn't that 120? So 90 plus 30, yeah, 120. That is total of 120. And then octopus is using their strength. Okay. So I don't think the octopus is gonna win here. So strength 70 plus 40, dang. So um 70 plus 40, 110. So very close odds here. Alligator. That makes sense. So alligator wins. Next up we have that versus Hyraxia. Okay. So where's the battle taking place? On land. So what's that gonna be using? Intelligence. So I don't think we know its intelligence, and yeah, definitely we do. So basically, if you don't know a stat, I'll usually just put it like right in the middle for 50. So 50 plus 20 is 70. And Wywaxia is using their strength. So that's 50 minus 10 for a total of 40. Kid Out wins again, which is to be expected. Okay. Next up we have Yukon versus Australopithecus. Okay. So where is it taking place? It's taking place underwater. So what's Yukion using? Their intelligence. Okay. So Yukion intelligence of 60 underwater, that's minus 40, so for a total of 20. And Australopithecus is using their speed. Okay? So speed is 40 minus minus 10 for a total of 30. So I don't think either of them will do particularly well here. But all we're looking for is a winner, and that's it. So, and it looks like Yukion is winning. Yep, Yukion wins. And then a horse versus Dimetrodon. So, horse versus Dimetrodon. I see pretty evil. I mean, not evil, but pretty equal chances here. I mean, looks like both the horse and Dimetrodon have fairly high stats. It's taking place on land, makes it equal even more. So horse, yeah. So horse is going first. So horse using their intelligence 70 plus 60. I think this is going to be the highest total we've seen yet. 70 plus 60. 130. No, it's not the highest we've seen yet. But 70. Wait, no. I think it was 130. Yeah, 130. And then Dimetrodon is using their also intelligence. So, Horse is probably going to win here. Oh wait, they have intelligence of 60 plus 50 for a total of 110. They have pretty much equal chances here, like like I thought they were, and Dimetrodon wins, which makes sense. And then, like I said at the beginning of my story, but I don't really know if you heard it, but you might hear my budgie in the background, but like you do right now. So anyway, next up, crab. Oh no, chicken versus human. Okay. Where's the battle taking place? On land. Okay. So the chicken is using their speed. So that is 60 plus 10 for a total of 70. And the human is using their also speed. Okay. So 50 plus 40 is 90. So I see equal chances here actually. Human. So human wins, which makes sense. Next up we have T-Rex versus that. So yeah. Where is it taking place? On land. So I don't think the second, the one in red here has a very high chance. Uh, so what's T-Rex using? Their intelligence. Okay. So T-Rex has an intelligence of 60 plus 50 for a total of 110. And what's the other one using? Also intelligence. Okay. So that's they have literally zero chance of winning. So, I wonder who's gonna win. Yeah, T-Rex wins. Since, cause it's basically like massive, really dangerous predator, which is like a meat blob. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay, alligator versus that. So where is it taking place? It's taking place in the water, so I think. So I think the alligator might actually win here. So, yeah, that makes sense. So, what's the alligator using? Strength. So their strength is 90 plus 30 for a total of 120. So, and then that is using their are using their intelligence. Okay. So they have intelligence stat of 50 and it's in the water. That is minus 20 for total of 30. Okay. Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. Alligator wins. Makes sense. It's basically like, like, really, really OP, like, basically Apex Predator versus Rat. So that makes sense. That is Yukion versus Dimetrodon. So where is it taking place? So that is on land, yeah. Yep, on land. And let's see, Yukion using. Using their speed. Okay. So they have a speed of 40 plus 40 for a total of 80. And what's Dimetrodon using? They're also using their speed. So have a speed of 40 plus 50 for a total of 90. Dimetrodon. Okay. So they win. Makes sense. Round one, two, three. Okay, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So round 4. So human versus T-Rex. Okay. So where's it taking place? Underwater. Interesting. So, so the human is using their. They're using their speed. Okay. So that is 50 minus 10 for a total of 40. And the T-Rex is using their intelligence. And I'm not sure, but I think they might have been really smart animals. They're using their intelligence of 60 minus 20 for a total of 40. That's exactly even. T-Rex wins, which makes sense. So, T-Rex. Okay. And alligator versus Dimetrodon. They were they were pretty similar animals, or were. So where is it taking place? Another underwater battle. So so alligator is using their um their speed. So that is 50, a total of 80. And then Dimetrodon is using they're using their intelligence. Okay. I don't think they were particularly smart animals. At 60, they aren't particularly smart. That's minus 30 for a total of 30. I think Alligator's probably gonna win here, but we'll see. Yeah, Alligator wins. So now we have our final round, T-Rex versus alligator. Okay. So is it taking place on land or in the water? It's taking place on land. So T-Rex is using their strength. Okay, that I think they have a pretty good chance of winning. So strength of 90 plus 50, so 90 plus 50, a total of 140. Okay, and the alligator is using their strength. Okay, strength. Also strength. So strength of 90 plus 20, a total of 110. So this is pretty even here. An alligator wins. And then I guess I'll just use the color for the trophy there, just because it makes the most sense. So yeah, um, so in like a battle between Midas' chicken, crab, vigorous human, Cynodont, Budgie, frog, salmon, stegosaurus, shark, T-Rex, Normocaris, uh, that, Ogosaurus, Vagina, lion, alligator, wolf, octopus, that, Archaeopteryx, Pyraxia, slug, Eukion, spider, hamster, Australopithecus, Tiktaalik, horse, Dimetrodon, and axolotl. An alligator wins, which makes sense because most of the species on here were rather weak. And then, but but what caught me by surprise was that it managed to beat a T-Rex. So yeah, and then also this one managed to beat Archosaurus and Anomalocaris. They were doing like far better than I expected them to. And then this one beat Archaeopteryx and Wywaxia, so that's also better than I expected them to do. Um, and then obviously Archosaurus did a lot worse than I expected them to do. But yeah, Alligator won all of this. I'll save this. And yeah, bye guys.